Today we're going to look at the Pentax MZ-S. Now this was the very last, well, I think there's one thing called the IST, which they made, but this was the last professional film camera Pentax ever made. And they went out with a bang, because when you look at this on the table, they've totally redesigned. There's not a camera quite like this, other film camera that was made or designed like this. After their Pentax Z1P, which I've shown you in the previous video, the Pentax engineers, very clever people, went back to the drawing board with how you put manuals and controls onto cameras. They sort of realised people weren't big fans of the digital buttons and stuff like that, and they liked their knobs and dials, but obviously the knobs and dials stick out, and it's like potentially not the best layout. So with this, they did something, here we go. That's going to go into focus eventually. There it is. They did something really clever. They redesigned the top of the camera. I don't know if you can see this side on. Let's try and do it here. Side on. You'll see it when it's on the table. Get this. They sort of, there it is. I don't know if you can see that. That's really badly shot. Sorry about this. It's not doing it, is it? Anyway, we look on the table. But basically, they put a 45-degree angle across the top of the camera and mounted the dial so they faced you. It's incredibly easy to use. I know I said this, all my cameras are my favourites, but it's probably this and the Minolta 9 are just really, when you pick them up, they're just fantastic. This is so small and portable, and it's made, I think, magnesium. It's got the absolutely perfect weight when you use it. I mean, it's in comparison to the Minolta 9. The Minolta 9 is like a gigantic camera. So is the Z1P, which I showed you before. But this is quite small, compact, and it's really good. I mean, you've got all the controls are really easy to get to. It's such a lightweight portable package, but it's immensely powerful. They really did get it right, and unbelievably, this was going to be the basis of the Pentax's first full-frame digital camera. And I've got a picture of it somewhere. Basically, it's sort of, they extended the bottom to put the digital sensor part in, and this would have been the shape of their camera. But what they did, they just waited, and then they brought out, I can't remember when it came out, the Pentax K1 was their first full-frame digital camera. But yeah, I mean, I would have gone with this design as well. I mean, it's absolutely so simple to use. And it's really, really clever. It's got a built-in flash. But great. I mean, the story behind this one is it was on an auction site, not eBay. And it said it was fire damaged. So I'm looking at it and I thought, fire damaged. And I looked at it, and what it was some of these cameras, they had rubber sort of inserts, like at the bottom here, to protect the electronics. And what had happened is someone had kept this in a box, and the rubber, because it's exposed to the air, had just disintegrated. So it was smeared all over the bottom of the camera. So it was written down as fire damaged. But it wasn't. It was fine. I just cleaned it off, and the camera just shot straight out of the box, and it's been great ever since. So it's quite funny. But all the rubber, again here with the port for the flash, had just deteriorated into goo, so I had to clean it all out. But I obviously got it for a bit of a bargain because it was fire damaged. But yeah, I mean, technically, there is a history of a few problems with these. There's a plastic cog inside with a mirror return motor that sometimes strips, and you can get them repaired. But this was a problem with a lot of the MZ class of cameras they made, was this gear thing. There's a certain serial number of them, and I think it's any of the ones that's with a 5 on the serial number that don't have this problem. Mine's a 4. So maybe it'll go one day, maybe it won't. I mean, but they're old cameras, aren't they? So, you know, you pay your money, take chances, don't you, at the end of the day? I mean, as long as you get to use it whilst you've got it. But no, there was a mirror slip problem. But, I mean, as they disintegrate off the market, I don't think they can be fixed. There is some guy in Japan, apparently, that can do it. But yeah, no, I mean, these are fantastic. And what a way to go out for Pentax. I mean, they had such a gigantic history of film cameras. And this thing is just so different. It's so good. I don't think it gets as much love as it should, because it's when you start to shoot one of these, again, it's like the Minolta 9. It's like it's such a great design camera. But this is like half of an Ultra 9, but really, really good. Anyway, let's have a look at the table and then I'll come back. Okay, so this is the Pentax MZ-S, and you should be able to, like, straight away see this is a very unique design. If I try and look here, see if this stays in focus, you see that the 45-degree angle that everything's mounted at, and you've got these two huge dials that sit here, and these two dials control literally everything you do. So you've got a small recess here you push in, and you normally just leave it on 0 unless you've got exposure compensation on. You can roll it round to all the different functions you need. So you've got, it's difficult to read from here, you've got your ISO, different modes, but this is sort of hyperfunction mode, like on the PZ1, where once you start to change things, I'll show you what I mean. So you can control all your functions of it. Let me turn it on. Turn it, switch, it's nice. The PZ1, which I showed you in a previous video, had a really nasty slider thing there. But this is like a traditional camera where you turn on the camera over here, which is great. So now if I adjust this to, say, ISO, now over here you spin this dial to get whatever function you want. Mine's on 125. You've also got all the functions, the PF function modes. Again, on this camera, I won't go into those because there's like tons of them. And that's it. It's really simple. Just move it round. You've got all your functions. You can see everything is displayed inside this dial. So there we go. And again, it's got the hyperfunction mode. So if I want to change my shutter, all of a sudden, there it is. I'm changing my shutter. Now on this one, it's now got the, what you see on all modern Pentax cameras, it's got a green button. This green button resets everything back to like just basic program mode. Now on here, again, the sort of hyper function mode they have, if I want to change my aperture on this, you just do it on the ring on the front, which is pretty standard. And now you can basically control the camera like that. So pretty clever stuff. So over here you've got all your different shooting modes. So you've got timer, you've got single frame, multi-frame, and then you've got multiple exposure here. And then down here you've got your different focus, your different exposure modes. So you've got spot, matrix, and center weighted. We put a lens cap on there, flip it up. On the back you've got A lock, hold, you've got a light button. There you go. Nicely lights up the display so we can read it at night. I've got a data pack on this. Obviously, you know, it's probably stuck in the year 2000. I've never loaded that up. But this had some really clever features. You can actually get the camera, so I think it's one of the first ones to do this. You can set the camera during the PF functions, the Pentax functions, to actually write all the exposure information on the film strip itself. So when you get the film strip back from the developers, you can actually read what your ISO was, your f-stop was. It's all actually on the edge of the film frame. So it's really clever. And you can also, obviously, if you use this, write the date on there as well. So have a quick look at the sides. Open it. The bottom. This was a thing that was filled in with gunk that apparently was fire damage. And then anything else on the front here? Okay, so you've got manual focus, single and continuous focus as usual. You've got flash control there. And then there's something that I've never ever used that. That's probably for the focus auto. Yeah. So you've got certain areas that you can control for autofocus, and that controls that. So anyway, there we go. So really clever camera, beautiful camera. Let's fire the flash up there, look. Really uniquely designed. It should get a lot more love. But yeah, brilliant. Oh, depth of field preview is here. You just pull that down for depth of field preview. Really beautifully ergonomically designed, this thing. There you go. Pentax MZ-S. Okay, so that's the Pentax MZ-S. I'm not sure to say about it really. I mean, you've had a look. It's a very unique camera. It may not suit everybody, but me, it's one of these weird ones where if I'm looking for a sort of, I don't know, autofocus cameras to take out for the day, to go with my K1, or just to take it out to get, you know, good autofocus, good metering, all this sort of business. And again, I mean, I can shoot all the lenses Pentax made on the K mount on this thing because it's got focus confirmation. But it's a lovely camera, and you know, you don't see it very much. You see them on eBay, but you don't see people review it or talk about it too much, and they should, because it's much like the Contact 159NN, which is a great camera. It's one of those ones that's, you know, it's really good. But I think people get freaked out by the mirror cog thing. I mean, but come on. I mean, you know, once you get it, you'll understand what I'm talking about with this. It's so portable. Such a nice camera. Anyway, okay. Thanks for watching.